welcome to another Nerdy Nummies. I got so many requests from you guys to make something emoji related, and I had so much fun making the emoji cookies last time. I love emojis. I use them all the time. Sometimes I text and communicate with my friends and family more than I actually use words. I don't know if you guys do this too, but I use them all the time. So I thought, okay, we can do another emoji related thing, but I wanted to do something we've never done before. So today we are gonna be making meringue cookies for the very first time on Nerdy Nummies. And we're gonna be making them look like one of my favorite emojis, the little poos. So today we are going to be making emoji meringue cookies. Let's get started. The things you will need will be 2 tablespoons of meringue powder. The one I am using is by Wilton. 2/3 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and 1/4 cup of water. Then to get them a darker color brown, we're going to be using a couple drops of brown food coloring. The chocolate powder does make the meringue a light brown color, but it isn't quite brown enough to match the emoji. So this part is totally optional, but I'm going to be using some brown food coloring. You will also need a plastic baggie, and at the end I've attached a number 12 tip with this little coupler, a pencil, a number 2A tip, some royal icing with a number 1 tip. I've just put it into a plastic baggie to decorate for more control. Some cute little candy eyeballs to decorate. These are by Wilton. A baking sheet, a piece of parchment paper, a mixing bowl, and a mixer. Now let's put it all together. The first thing that we're gonna do is prep our baking sheet. So over here I've got the baking sheet and a piece of parchment paper that I've cut to fit inside. And you're gonna take the number 2A tip and we're gonna trace with our pencil a whole bunch of circles to make a little template on our parchment paper. Once you've traced out all your little circles, now you're gonna flip it upside down. Ooh, look at that onto the tray. You can still see the circles, but the pencil will not be touching your food. Very important. You don't want to leave the side with the pencil marks touching your food. Now we're gonna set these off to the side and we're gonna start making our meringue. That means poop in sign language. The first thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna combine a pinch of salt, our water, and meringue powder into a big mixing bowl. Just a reminder, you'll want to use a large stainless steel mixing bowl or a large glass bowl to make meringues. Those will be the best. You'll wanna make sure it's clean and super dry because meringues are kind of a finicky cookie, and this 1/4 cup of water is all you want. You don't want any more. For those of you who have never used meringue powder before, it is just an egg white substitute. It is made from pasteurized egg whites. We're gonna add our water and a pinch of salt. You're gonna take your mixer and mix it together till it gets a little foamy. The next step is while we are mixing, we are gonna slowly add our vanilla extract and gradually add our sugar. This could take a few minutes because we're gonna keep mixing until you get a stiff peak. See, this is a stiff peak, looks like a little mountain, and it holds its shape even if I move it around a little bit. That's what we want. Earthquake on the mountain! Now we're gonna add a little bit of food coloring, just a few drops of the brown food coloring. Again, this is totally optional. The cocoa powder will make our meringues a light brown, but I want it to look exactly like the little poo emoji, so I'm gonna add a few. Last but not least, we're gonna add our cocoa powder, and then we're gonna mix together on a slow speed. Just mix until it's well combined. Now our meringue is ready. You're gonna take this plastic baggie, and I've put a number 12 tip at the end, and I'm just gonna stick it in this cup, and I folded down the sides to make it a little bit easier. And I'm gonna scoop my meringue into the plastic baggie. Might get a little bit messy. That's okay, that's meringues. And then you're just gonna work the meringue down to the bottom. Usually I use a little hair tie or an elastic tie to secure the top of the bag, but this time I'm just gonna pinch it with my fingers. Meringues are super sensitive to heat, so the less I touch the bag, the better. You wanna pipe right away. So that's why I've grabbed our baking tray and I'm gonna start to pipe our little poos. A fun little trick that I like to do to make the parchment paper stick down because the ends always curl is you're just going to take a little dab of meringue, boop, stick it on the underside of the parchment, and stick it right there on the baking sheet. We're locked, loaded, ready to make some poo emojis! The technique I'm going to use to make these is very easy. You're going to start in the middle, start putting a little bit of pressure, work your way to the outside, outline the circle that we've traced, and then you're gonna come up a layer, and then one more, make a swirl at the top, and start letting go. There you go. Look, it looks just like a little poo. And then you're gonna do this for the rest of your meringues. Meringues are done. Now we're gonna pop them in the oven at 200 degrees and bake them for 1 hour. Then this is very important. You're gonna turn the oven heat off and let them sit in the oven for an additional half hour while the oven cools down. Then we're gonna take them out of the oven and let them cool completely at room temperature. I like to think of baking meringue cookies as not really baking them, more like slowly dehydrating them. While your meringues are baking, if you notice any cracking, you might want to turn down the temperature just a few notches. They're very sensitive to heat. Our meringues are out of the oven. They've had plenty of time to cool. I even had extra batter, so I got a second batch in the oven right now. And now we're gonna make them look like the emoji. So I pulled up a picture on my phone of the little poo. And we're gonna stick on the little candied eyeballs with our royal icing. I'm just gonna dump a few of them out and pick my favorites. I like to match up the little eyeballs because they all have slightly different sized pupils. You're gonna take one of your candy eyeballs, and on the back side, we're gonna put a little dab of icing. This will act like an adhesive, and then we're gonna stick it on the front of our little poo. Now we're gonna do it to our second eyeball. Oh my gosh, he's getting so cute. I can't even. Look at him! All right, now it's time to make him smile. You're gonna take your royal icing and we're just gonna pipe a little happy face. Boom! Poo Emoji meringue. He's so cute. And now we're gonna do this to the rest of our little meringues. Ta-da! Here are the Poo Emoji meringues that we made today. Thanks you guys for suggesting something emoji related. I am so excited because we have never made meringues together. This is our first time on Nerdy Nummies making meringues. Also, I made a video over on Wilton's channel about working with meringue powder. It's very versatile and you can use it for many different things. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go click over there. I'll put a link down below for you to check out. If you have any other suggestions for any of the nutty nummies, let me know. Leave me a comment down below. A big thank you to you guys again for suggesting these. I love emojis. And a thank you to Wilton for partnering with me to make this video. All right, thanks. Bye-bye. I set this little guy off to the side because he looked a little derpy, but that's okay if you're making these and one looks like poo. They're good little snacks, little taste testers. Meringues are crunchy on the outside and they're soft on the inside, and a chocolate meringue, oh.